Good evening and thank you for joining us. Thunder Bay Police have announced the takedown of a widespread drug trafficking operation. Project Waffle was a joint effort with the OPP to disrupt the local drug trade. $2.3 million worth of drugs has been seized, as well as cash, and 3 people have been arrested. Vasilios Bellos reports.
The 7-month-long police investigation began last summer. Along with over $2 million worth of crack and powder cocaine, police also seized $470,000 in cash and multiple handguns. Police Chief Sylvie Hoth praised the work that led to the seizures, but recognized the issues that surround the region.
We are an island here within the northwest of Ontario, and the cost to investigate, to enforce, and to disrupt the flow of illicit drugs, guns, and gangs comes at a very high price. We have never faced a greater threat to public safety and community safety and well-being as we face today.
The search warrants executed during Project Waffle occurred at 6 different homes located around Thunder Bay and 1 in Shunya. Detective Sergeant Dan Irwin was in charge of Project Waffle and stressed the importance of being able to search this many addresses in a short period of time.
To make it hard for us to detect them, they're going to use more houses. That's in a nutshell. We have all these rules to follow as the police. They don't. The more spots they have hidden throughout town, it creates work for us. We have to find them all. We don't have a crystal ball. Again, we have to do the legwork. And again, it's these officers that do that legwork and are able to come across them.
It is recognized by those across Ontario and beyond that the Thunder Bay drug trade is lucrative. This is one of the reasons it appeals to out-of-towners, with one of the 3 men arrested originally coming from the Greater Toronto area. Detective Inspector John Fennell says projects like these can disrupt some of the drug trafficking.
We arrest people steady, and unfortunately there's a steady flow of people coming to replace them. We're trying to put a dent in that. This is obviously substantial. This will put at least a dent for a short period of time into the drug sales here.
The 3 arrested, aged 25, 27, and 46, remain in custody with future court dates, while investigations related to Project Waffle are considered ongoing. Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
Thunder Bay's population has seen an uptick after years of decline, according to Statistics Canada. The first batch of data from its 2021 census was released today, and it shows nearly 1,000 more people live in our city compared to 2016. Mayor Bill Mauro calls it good news.
And to see a positive move, in terms of a population increase, even though it is modest, I think that's good news for Thunder Bay.
The census is undertaken every 5 years. Thunder Bay saw its population shrink in 2011 and 2016, but the latest data shows a 0.9% increase, and while that's a welcome turnaround, Thunder Bay still had the 3rd lowest population increase of all major cities in Canada. The numbers were slightly better for the Thunder Bay metropolitan area, which saw a 1.3% increase thanks to big gains in Shunya and Nebing. And many local officials believe the city's actual population is higher than the census numbers due to underreporting of Indigenous residents.
Most of us think, if the number for the CMA is estimated at about 123, many of us have no problem believing that might be 125, 130, 135. I don't know. I don't pretend that I do. But I do think that it's fair for us to assume that that number is still underrepresented. How much it's underrepresented by, I certainly can't say, but I do think we're north of the number that's in the data.
Mauro believes at least part of the increase is due to affordable housing and that more people are now able to move back and work remotely during the pandemic. According to the health unit, the COVID-19 outbreak on the female side of the Thunder Bay Correctional Centre is now over. And the Regional Health Sciences Centre says its outbreak in the 1A Oncology unit has been declared over as well. The number of COVID-19 patients at the hospital is also heading in the right direction today. There are 40 COVID patients being treated at the Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Centre, with 6 in the ICU. Those numbers are down from 45 and 8, respectively, on Tuesday. The hospital's overall occupancy rate has fallen to 98.5%. The occupancy rate in intensive care is unchanged at 86%. The Thunder Bay District Health Unit is reporting 167 new COVID-19 cases since its last update on Monday. There are now 310 active cases, up from 283. and there are 51 people in hospital across the TBDHU, with 10 in the ICU. In the Northwestern Health Unit, there are now 248 active cases, up from 161. More than 40% of those, 109 in total, come from the Sioux Lookout Health Hub. The NWHU's 7-day test positivity rate now stands at 19.6%. It's now easier for Ontarians to get their hands on a rapid COVID-19 test. The province has expanded access to the free kits, which are now available at many pharmacies and grocery stores. The increased supply comes as the next round of restrictions is set to ease across the province. Colin DeMello has the details.
As Omicron spread across Ontario in December, the demand for rapid antigen tests surged. But Queen's Park kept them mostly under lock and key, reserving the tests for high-priority settings like hospitals and schools. But now the province is making them widely available.
5.5 million rapid tests will be made available each week at over 2,300 pharmacy and grocery stores across the province, as well as through community partners in vulnerable communities.
Over the next 8 weeks, grocery stores and pharmacies will be the destination for free rapid tests. More than 2,300 of the largest and most popular chains will begin carrying the rapid tests starting today. You will be limited to 1 box per family per visit. But the tests will also be in short supply. The province says it has 8.8 million kits available for the public, with 5 rapid tests in each box.
Participating retailers will decide how to distribute tests to best serve their communities, including through appointment bookings, at checkout, or through online orders.
The deployment of the tests comes amid new guidance from the Ontario Science Advisory Table on how to properly swab for the Omicron variant.
Rub the inside of each cheek between the cheek and gums, rotating the swab for 5 seconds, avoiding your teeth. Insert the same swab into the front of your nostril about 2 centimeters and gently wipe around the inside of your nose 3 to 5 times.
But the province could now be facing a larger challenge. In the wake of the Ottawa occupation, some provinces have decided to drop COVID-19 restrictions entirely.
We are well positioned to live with this virus, as we do with many other infectious diseases.
And now an Ontario MPP is echoing that call, urging the government to lift all restrictions.
I call on Doug Ford to remove all restrictions, revoke all emergency orders except for those that deal with staffing, and please let Ontarians breathe, work, play, smile, and live.
The Ford government has not indicated a timeline, content with its cautious strategy that has paid off in the past. At Queen's Park, Colin DeMello, CTV News.
Here in Thunder Bay, the free rapid test kits were announced for 17 pharmacies and grocery stores, but only some of them had the kits in stock today. More shipments are expected to arrive tomorrow. Kits containing 5 individual tests were reportedly available this afternoon at several Shoppers Drug Marts and Metro grocery stores. The kits are limited to one per household per visit. As for the locally run Jansen's and Dawson Heights pharmacies, shipments of 3 cases per location are expected to arrive Thursday. Dawson Heights owner Vinay Kapoor says the phone has been ringing off the hook with inquiries since the province's announcement.
We found out right when the announcement was made because the phone started ringing off the hook for the demand for the test. So we were hoping that people visit their regular pharmacy. That way it can be distributed in a fair and equitable way, that people are going there and limiting 1 per household as the intention is, so everybody gets something.
Kapoor suggests calling ahead to find out the best time to come into the pharmacy to pick up a test kit, as he plans to limit the times that they're available to not disrupt normal workflow. A water main break on Redwood Avenue last night meant a day off for students at St. Vincent's School and its childcare center. It happened right in front of the school and caused significant flooding along the street. The Catholic Board says remote learning was also canceled. The rupture resulted in a lengthy street closure between Sherbrooke Avenue and James Street, with repair crews still on scene earlier today. The water main was eventually repaired this afternoon. That means students at St. Vincent will be able to return to in-person learning tomorrow. Water stations will be available at the school, as there's currently a boil water advisory in the area. It's been issued by the city. The best time to get fresh, locally sourced fruits and vegetables is typically the summer or fall, but now a Dryden man has returned to his hometown with a plan to grow fresh produce all year long. Benjamin Fagan's company Agritech North hopes to revolutionize agriculture in the region. Adam Riley explains.
For the first time, we'll be able to buy fresh produce from our grocery stores year-round instead of it being seasonal.
The former Parks Department building in Dryden has new occupants with big ambitions. Agritech North CEO Benjamin Fagan says within a couple of months, this gray and brown warehouse will be a laboratory-like setting with centerpieces of lush green produce plants similar to the ones seen here.
We hope to put substantial renovations into the building that will increase the insulating properties of the building and seal it off from the outdoors, so that way we don't have any risks of pests. And then we'll be installing PVC panels, for example, that'll allow us to wash everything down.
Fagan says vertical farming is new to the region, and through that method, the 4,400 square foot facility will be able to grow the equivalent of 5 acres of crops, which, as master grower Fabian Velez explains, will be a variety.
Fairy tale eggplant, the sun goat tomato, the black strawberry cherry tomato. We're bringing in cucamelons, which are miniature watermelons that look like but taste like cucumber. But we're bringing all these varieties that have thinner skin because they're packed with flavor.
Fagan notes in addition to the variety, there will also be some environmental and health benefits from their facility and growing practices.
So we'll be one of the most sustainable farming operations in the world. So we use 90% less water, 60% less nutrients, no chemical herbicides, fungicides, or pesticides.
We're at predatory pests, just in case if we do have some uninvited guests. Pretty much using nature to fight nature, but at the same time be as natural as we can with nature.
Despite being known as a pulp and paper town, Dryden was initially settled with agriculture in mind. In addition to bringing fresh produce year-round, Agritech looks to also improve access and costs for remote First Nations, where fresh produce can be disturbingly expensive.
Distribution often adds costs, especially when going to the far north communities. We're also working on funding applications to put in infrastructure for perishable good transportation throughout the region.
Fagan and Velez also have their sights set on providing educational opportunities in the future for students at both the secondary and post-secondary level. Adam Riley, TBT News.
A Thunder Bay logging crew went above and beyond their regular duties recently when they rescued a moose in distress. The animal fell through the ice and was trapped in frigid water. Mitchell Ringos chronicles the effort.
It's not every day you come across a moose, but to find one stuck in a lake is a very different story. This cow moose, along with the calf, was first spotted by Byron Holbik early Monday morning while he was heading to work along Highway 11 between Chappaqua and Atikokan.
Came across the bridge and just, 700 meters, 800 meters past that, they were running down the road in front of me in the morning. And they ran off to the left to the Windagustagon Lake, the same lake that she fell in. So I figured, by my estimation, she had probably been in there all day.
Darren Whalley was first down on the ice, and once he deemed it safe to walk on, a call was sent out to the crew about the situation, asking for help. Whalley, Holbik, and co-workers Mark Wellington and Jordan Hay knew the moose wouldn't survive without a helping hand, so they sprung into action. The crew used a power saw and some poles to create a channel about 25 feet long in the opposite direction from the channel the moose made while struggling to get out. With some encouragement from the crew and a stick used to nudge the moose along, they were finally able to get her to shallow water where she first tried to get out.
When she collapsed on the ice, it was kind of a relief, but also a worry because she kind of laid sideways. You can see in the video she laid sideways. She was really exhausted.
After about 6 minutes of the moose recovering just on the edge of the ice, she was finally able to stand up out of the water, which Darren Whalley says was a one-of-a-kind experience.
It was pretty amazing, and that was really the only reason that I personally recorded it, was just for memories. It was pretty good once we seen her kind of coming up in the shallow, and then she started climbing up. Then I was like, okay, she's going to be good and fine, and it was nice to see her walk off.
I mean, we all thought, it was our duty to do that. Like, I saw a moose in the water, and I heard about it, and I'm like, right away, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there, and we're going to do what we can to get it out. And I think we all put ourselves, we put ourselves in danger, but we didn't think about it. We just thought about saving the moose.
And just before walking off, the moose stopped for a few seconds to look back at the crew, which they say almost felt like a thank you. The moose was then able to head back into the woods to be reunited with her calf. Mitchell Ringos, TBT News.
What a fantastic story, and great job to all of those involved. Well, if you missed any of today's local stories or you'd like to watch them again, you can find them on tvnewswatch.com under the TBT News Stories section. You can also follow us on social media. Facebook users can find TBT News at TBT News TBay, and on Twitter we can be found at TBT News _TBay.